guys, welcome to my Etsy channel. On today's video, I'm going to be doing a critique on the store called Art by Nancy. So thank you, Nancy, for allowing me to do a review of your beautiful shop. So guys, I will be doing a critique on the shop and kind of going through the overall shop and things that she could improve and things that she's doing correctly. So if you're interested in learning how you could also improve your Etsy shop, stay tuned and watch this video all the way through. So let's go ahead and get started. Just to let you guys know, any tools that I currently use on this video, I will list them below. There's a box below that you could click on and you'll find all the tools plus additional resources that I have added in there that will help you elevate and take your shop to the next level. What I normally do on a critique is I pick one listing. So today I will be doing a critique on this actual listing right here. So the first thing that I always talk about during a critique is product photography. And that's because that's the first thing that the customer sees. First impressions are everything, especially on an e-commerce platform. When you have an e-commerce platform, your photo has to be amazing. It has to be beautifully cropped. It has to showcase your product really, really well. And the customer should be able to look at your product and know exactly what they're buying at that given moment. If they look at the product and there's some type of confusion or they don't know what exactly they're buying, a lot of people are not going to click to view the listing description or to read more on this product, right? A lot of people are going to keep browsing and go to the next shop. So you want to make sure, first of all, that your photo is cropped in a complimentary way. So this photo is actually getting cut off. This is actually the size that you currently have it. So when you view it in your first page, it's a little bit cut off. However, I recommend redoing your photos. I recommend doing a photo in a actual frame to showcase and let people know that this is actually a painting that they could buy. The reason why is because right now, it does look like a painting, but it could also look like just regular art. You're not really sure what exactly I'm buying. So if you have it showcased in a frame, um, maybe against a wall or a really nice mock-up that you could buy, it's going to showcase the product better. Right now, I feel like it's not doing justice to this beautiful painting. So the way that you have it right now, for the average person, they might think it's beautiful and they're going to keep going. They're not going to click on it to actually learn more about the product. And you actually have a style photo, which is when you have the photo style, like when you have the product in an actual environment. However, it's so small, you could barely see it. So I recommend doing a mock-up of a photo, doing a mock-up but having the actual product bigger so people could actually see it. And I also recommend making sure that your photo is complements the picture as well. It looks like it's a little bit too dark in my opinion. Maybe on a white wall, it will, pop a little bit more as well. I highly recommend that when you do, especially a painting like this, an acrylic art wall, and it's a canva, that you showcase the side of the canva, right? Because when it's a canva, it's a little thicker on the outside of the frame. So right now we can't see that either. So it looks like a regular print or maybe an illustration of somehow, but the person wouldn't know that this is actually a canva that you're selling. So I recommend redoing your photos. They need a lot of work. Your items are actually beautiful. It's just that your product photography needs a little bit more work to showcase the item. So when the person sees it, they know exactly what they're buying. And you want to make sure that it stands out. I will include at least 5 photos. And then I will also include call to actions. So having a photo that says click below to learn more about this product, or favorite this product for later. You want to tell customers what to do. A lot of people, you have to think about it that a lot of people, this is their first time shopping on Etsy, and they don't realize that if they click here on more, they could actually read more about this listing. A lot of people don't know that it's their first time using it, so therefore they really don't understand how to maneuver through Etsy. So you want to make sure that you apply these call to actions telling them what to do, where to click at. That way, they're more, oh, okay, I didn't know I could click here. Let me click here and learn more. So that's the first thing I would change. The second thing I want to talk about is SEO, also known as search engine optimization. And this is how Google, Xe, and large search engines like Bing and Yahoo, and even Pinterest, this is how your items get found on search engines, is using keywords that are one, targeting your audience, two, that are not oversaturated, because if you're using keywords that have too much competition, you're going to be buried on the bottom pages. You're not going to be listed on the first or second page. And thirdly, you want to make sure you use keywords that also are not too low and competitive, right? So you want to have that medium competition that people are actually looking for the product, but that it's not oversaturated as well. So the tool that I use is called XRank. Now there's so many tools out there. You could use Google AdWords, you could use Google Keyword Planner, you could use XRank, Marmalade. There's so many options. You could actually even use Xe as an example to kind of do research on their homepage and kind of target different keywords. I use XRank, and I did want to show you that your listing right now, all the keywords gotta go. You're using keywords that are not targeting your audience. You're using keywords that are too broad, and you're using keywords that is too much competition. So you're using all the three that are not going to favor your shop at all. So for instance, um, this right here is too broad, colorful. Because colorful could be anything. It could be a painting, it could be a couch, it could be earrings, it could be an outfit. So when you go to Etsy.com and you type in that word colorful, you get all types of different stuff. You get pictures of dogs, a picture frame, you get socks, you get sweaters, you get a mug. So therefore, you're not targeting your audience right now. You're targeting anybody and everybody. So therefore, that's why a lot of people say I get a lot of impressions or I get a lot of views. I just don't get why I'm not getting the sales. It's because they're not targeting the audience. Art is too broad. Room decor is too broad. Um, Wall art is a little bit broad, but it's a little bit closer to your target audience. What I would do is maybe put Canva wall art and see what comes up. Um, However, you got to keep in mind that even though it's a little bit more targeted, look at the look how many people have this actual keyword right now. So there's at this current moment, there's 3 million people that are using that word, wall art, in their listing. So therefore, you're competing with 3 million other people. Your listing is going to be buried on page 250. No one's going to ever see your listing. Now, there's different factors that play to make sure that your actual listing is on the first page. And the different factors is, how many people favor your shop, do you have really beautiful photos? How long the listing been open? Do you have your complete store set up, right? Etsy wants stores that have their bio filled out, they have their about me section filled out, their shop policy, and they'll rank you a little bit higher. So there's a lot of SEO factors that take play in order for you to appear in the first page. However, this keyword is too broad. It's too many people are using it. I mean, too oversaturated. That's what I meant to say. And too many people are using it. So it's going to be very hard for you to rank. And also, another thing you got to keep in mind is if you were to do an Etsy ad, your cost per bid is going to be very, very high because you're competing with all these people. So therefore, you're going to pay more money. So I highly recommend going back and doing your research. Just using keywords that one are target your audience, two describes your item, three are long tail keywords, and four that are not oversaturating. So those are the things that you have to keep in mind. So definitely go back and change them. Once you go back and find these new keywords, what you want to do is put the main keyword in the beginning of the sentence, and then you want to write like a caption. This is something new that Etsy wants us to do. The reason why they don't want us to stuff all the keywords here. Now, I still do it that way myself, But I understand why they want it like that. They want it like that because they want to make it easy for the customer to read, and they don't want to make it sound like it's robotic. So what they want is like the main keyword and a short description of what you're selling. Now, your main keyword that you put here, you also want to put in the first 150 characters because that's your meta description. That's what shows up on Google search results. So you want to make sure that you include it here as well. And then what you want to do is you want to include the other keywords throughout your listing description. This is what is called an on-page SEO factor. And it's basically a requirement for SEO or a best practice for SEO to rank you higher for those keywords. So you definitely want to work on adding those keywords because you don't have it right now. And then doing the same thing you did down here, which you did perfectly, adding all 13 tags. So in that area, you're doing good. It's just you picked the wrong tags. So therefore, that's why you probably are struggling with getting views or getting sales because you're using keywords that are too broad. You're not targeting your audience and it's oversaturated as well. So you're kind of working against all three. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is listing description. So keep in mind that the photo is what made the person click on the actual listing. The tags is how they found your listing, but the listing description is what makes them buy from you, right? So the listing description builds credibility with the customer. A good craft description includes everything and anything about that listing. So, including the size, the color, the shipping policy, return policy, how to contact you, materials that is made of, the colors, the size, etc. You want to make sure that it's easy to read, that people could follow it really good, and that what I like to do is add headlines. I recommend doing that. So, for instance, I'll show you. So I add like little sections like this, and it's just easier for the person to kind of go through it and understand exactly what they're buying. And this makes it easier for them to skim through the item, know what they're buying, and therefore make an informed decision whether they want to buy from your shop or not. But you definitely want to kind of break it down. You don't need to add emojis if you don't want to. Just adding little headlines, maybe like little lines at the end or something, but separating them. That way it looks fuller, more information, and making sure that you include your shipping policies or any additional thing that you have to include. Uh, the last thing I want to talk about is the curation of your shop. And the curation of your shop is the overall look of your shop. Do you have a logo, which you actually do, and you have a picture of yourself, which is really important. I like your photo because I can see your face. And when people buy from Etsy, they're buying from Etsy because they want something that is handmade, right? They want something that is custom, different. They're not gonna get nowhere else. They're not gonna find on Amazon or eBay. So it's important that you have a profile picture of yourself because people want to know who they're buying from, and that builds credibility. So you're doing a really good job with that. I like that you have a tagline. You have your about me section, which is really good. I would separate these with space just to make it easier to read. And then I'm not the best for grammar, so I'm not trying to like pinpoint anything, but make these capitalized. Where it says I, go back and proofread this. Only because there are going to be people out there that are very, very picky. I mean, I've gotten emails from people saying, you misspelled this, but they didn't buy anything from my shop, but they'll tell you. So you're going to get those few people that are very, very particular. They read everything, they look at every little detail. So making sure that you go back and fix those little things. I like the fact that you have your Instagram and your Pinterest. Um, I would say your shipping policies need a little bit more work. And what I would do is you have an update, which is great. You did an update 4 months ago. Try to do an update maybe twice a week, even if you have to recycle. And what I would do is that the update photo should be different from your listing. So you should take a picture of the actual product, like a regular picture, and then tag the photo that you have on Etsy. And then it makes it look more dynamic, it makes it look nicer than having the same image twice. It's just something that I noticed that when I do it that way, it just looks way better. Um, So yeah, I mean, I honestly recommend just doing those things. Also having a curated shop, having the same colors. So whatever mock-up or whatever design you decide to do to showcase your Canva, sticking with that across all your pictures. So making sure that all your pictures look the same. That if I find this picture on Etsy, search results, and I find this one, I say, oh, those belong to Art by Mancy, because that's branding. That's when people know, oh, that's from that brand. So you want to make sure that once you fix your photos and you do the mock-up style, that they all have the same uniform look. Now, if you go to, I don't know if you've ever been to Creative Market, I have a link below that you could go to, and you could buy um, mock-ups for Canva. So watch this, I'll show you right now. Look at this. Look at how cool this is. Like you can actually put your photo here, and it looks like a real mock. It looks like a real Canva. You see the thickness that I was talking about earlier? So this package here costs $15, and you get all these photos, and they're beautiful. And you see how big that photo is versus the one that you have now is very little. You could barely see what you're buying. It looks like you almost dragged the photo and you put it on top of the photo, and that's all you did. It doesn't look that great, but if you do it this way, it's gonna make your stuff stand out. And then you could do the side one like this so people could see that it's an actual Canva. But you could buy these already pre-made and just upload it on Etsy, and it's gonna make it look so much better. So I highly recommend doing those changes. The most important things that you have to work on is, in my opinion, is your photos and your SEO. The listing description is important as well. So you want to fix overall everything. But if I had to start with anything, it would be your photos and your SEO. Start with that and then start crafting your branding little by little. It takes time. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. Is one of those things that when you sell as an e-commerce platform, you have to learn all these extra things. You have to learn how to do SEO. You got to learn how to um, do so many different roles in order to get your store. You got to wear a lot of hats. And it can be a little frustrating in the beginning because you're like, I'm good at doing art. How come I got to do all this extra stuff? It just comes with it. But the more you do it, the easier it will become, and you'll get the hang of it. So these are my tips for your shop, Nancy. Guys, I'm trying to create a sense of community. So if you have any suggestions for Nancy about her listings, anything that she should change or anything that you notice, leave a comment below. That way we can all help each other. And make sure that if you like videos like this and you want to learn more about Etsy, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and also hit the notification bell. And what that does is every time I upload a new video, you'll get a notification. That way you can see it right away. Well, thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a terrific day. I'll see you on the next video.